Hello friends, Gagan this side. So today I will discuss about a mini project of Velocity OmniScript. So this is, you can see the screenshot of the mini project where I have added one OmniScript screenshot where the first name, last name, telephone number is there. And right side you can also see the OmniScript configuration. So I'm just going to discuss about this mini project. So what we are going to discuss is in this mini project, what is the agenda. So we will discuss how we can launch the OmniScript from the button or a particular link in the layout, how we can add the CSS, how we can create the multiple steps and element input element, and how we can use a calendar and how we can add the button and the layout as well. So we are going to discuss these things in this mini project. So you can see this is a sales application, and the sales application, if I go to leads here, and if I go to this inside this record, you can see there's a button book viewing. So this book viewing is nothing but is a lightning button that I have added. So the use case is that suppose that there is a company, we provide the rent services, they provide the apartment for rent, okay, and you are the customer and you have to book the appointment, like an appointment, so that you can see the property first and then you can take the decision whether you should go for the property or not. So you want to basically book the reviewing appointment, viewing appointment, okay, and you have to physically go to the office of that particular broker, and then they basically, the agent of that broker will take the information from you, okay. So what they have to do, the agent has to basically log in and they have to click the button book viewing, and the agent will ask the customer, okay, what is your name? So I will say just my name is Gagan Anand and this is my mobile number, okay. And if I'm not providing the right number, it will give me the validation like the telephone number is required and telephone number is invalid. This is out of the box, and you can see in the pink color. So actually I've changed this color. If I just remove the cache and refresh this, so you can see this is the green color, right? And application details. So basically I have added one CSS over this OmniScript. That's why there's a color of this OmniScript is green, a bit green. And this is the applicant details in red. And this font is also different. This is not the standard which is given by the Velocity. Okay, so I have added this. So I will discuss later how I have added the CSS. So firstly, what the form I have created. So Gagan Anand, and you can give the details. So this is just but nothing but just the element. Here you can see this is the first step. I just added the element from here, input element. This is the input element, text element. This is phone number. This is the email ID, and this is the, again the text element. So this is nothing but we just created one step and then put all the element here, and this is how it's looking like here. Okay, and then we click the next. When we click next, I move to this next step. You can see this is the second step, property section. So it is asking which property you're looking for. So initially it's asking for the area code. So the area code we use the select property element. We just drag from the build panel. We go to build panel and we click the select element, and from the select element you can just put here from this select element in the main panel, in the main step. And here we have added the options. So these all options are visible like LE1 or LE2, LE7. So when I'm choose this LE1, it will show the properties. This is again the select element, and this have this option Remington Road top terrace. So this come in the drop down list. Once I will choose this and I click next, it will ask for the appointment, at what time you want to book the appointment. So you can see the appointment, I cannot take the past date, I can only take the future date. So if I go to the next, here actually this is nothing but the date and time property. Again, you can take it from here. Date and time property, you can just navigate in the panel. And if you click this, here you can make it required, and here you can see the maximum date is today. That means I cannot go to the past, so that's why you have to make here as in today. So that's why I'm not able to select the past date. See, this is not clickable. The future date is clickable. Once I will click next, so it's giving a success message, this picture, and congratulations, your appointment has been booked. So for that, I create the separate step. I added one picture here. This is the picture and this is the message. Okay, you can navigate to this page. And before that, there is a data after post action, which is taking all the information and creating the leads. Okay. And some other things you can configure here is like you can check the duplicacy. So before, if I go to the previous step, after filling this information, we can basically call the integration procedure. Integration procedure basically check whether this information is already there in the lead or not, if there's any lead with the name Gagan or not. If it's already there, it will update the record, else it will insert the record. Okay, now they are the few questions. So this is like the small configuration you can do, drag and drop. But the challenges that you can face here is, first of all, how I've added the CSS. So if I click, right click, and if I go to the inspect, okay, and if I go to source, and if I click now, if I go to source and if I click Control P, so and if I search my CSS, so this one file is coming my CSS. Why this my CSS is coming? Because in this OmniScript, if I go to setup, I have given one CSS reference my CSS. This is a CSS file, and this my CSS is nothing but the static resource. I hope you are aware with the static resource. In static resource of the Salesforce, we can upload any file, and we can refer in the code or in the configuration of the Salesforce. So if I go to the static resource, so if you wanted to learn how to we can add the CSS in the deep, I already created one video in my channel. You can just go and refer that. So initially we have to go to my static resource. Here in the static resource, I can search my CSS. I already created one static resource with the name of my CSS. So here is my CSS. In my CSS, I have uploaded one file, and that file is like this. Okay, so initially it will be blank. Don't worry what things I have add, how I can edit these things. So don't worry about this. You can go to my video as well, and I will gonna explain here as well. So you have to initially this should be blank page. Nothing should be there, and then what you have to do, you have to basically we have to go to the inspection and source, and then Control P and search my files, my CSS, which you given the reference. Which you given the reference here in the setup. So it will come as in my CSS. Initially it will be the blank, and then you have to give these values. Okay, so why I've given this article class OmniScript, this is already I covered in the video, but I'm going to tell you again. So because if I basically go to element, and if I scroll up, you can see there is a article, right? Article, when I hover to the article, it's basically navigating, it's showing that it's basically, you can see dot 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 to the all of the page. That means if I make any changes in this article, it will make the changes in the whole of the page. So that's why I take article, and you can see class OmniScript article, and I pasted here in this file article and this class, and then I change the color. If I will change the color this to something else, let's suppose if I change this to red, so secondary color has been changed. If I change it to the orange, it will change to the orange, yellow, green, blue. So you have to find out the which markup you want to change. Similarly, H1 is nothing but the applicant details. So if I change this to, let's suppose that blue, you can see the applicant details has been changed. This is how you can add the CSS, and you can go to my video where I have covered. Now, second thing is that how I was able to launch this OmniScript from the lead layout, right? I was in the lead, and how I was able to click at the book viewing button, and when I was clicking book viewing, how I'm able to navigate to the OmniScript. So first thing is that when you have to basically launch an OmniScript, you should know you should have the URL of that OmniScript. So how we can get the URL of the OmniScript? You had to go to how to launch the OmniScript, and then there is a this URL you can get, lightning URL you have to copy, and then what you have to do, you have to create a lightning button. Okay, how you can create the lightning button? First of all, you have to go to the object where you want to add the button. So this is a lead object where I want to add the button. I'm going to button links, and you have to create a new action. Sorry, not a new action, new button. You have to click new button or link, and then you have to give the name of the button. Like I give the name of the button is book viewing, so you can give any name you want to give, and then you have to click this detail based button, and then you have to paste the URL. Sorry, so you have to paste the URL. So I showed you, right? So here you can basically paste this URL, Control C, and here you can paste the URL. Okay, so I already created it, so I'm not going to create with this name. So you can see book viewing is already created, the button, and here if Control V, you can see the same URL I have pasted here. And then this button you had to add in the layout. So you have to go to the page layout, and in the page layout you can see I added book viewing here in the layout. So that's why when you go to the leads, this button is there, and when you click book viewing, it will navigate to the same URL that I have given. That's why I'm here. And you can see this is how we can add the OmniScript in the page layout. You can give the reference anywhere using that URL. Okay, you can create your custom LWC page as well. And this is how you can take the details from the customer as an agent. So one more thing, there are the out of the box benefits like save for letter. So I already discussed this save for letter in my video. If you have not checked that, what is the save for letter, how we can configure save for letter, and if you wanted to override step chart element using LWC, this is also covered in my YouTube channel. So please subscribe and support this YouTube channel if you wanted to learn something interesting in OmniScript. I also provide the training in Velocity in reasonable price. If you are interested, you can ping me and you can reach out to me using my via my LinkedIn profile. Thank you.